But recently I made a video showing 27 things that you probably didn't know about ULTRAKILL, and people really seem to like it. So here's 23 more things you probably didn't know, because that makes a nice round 50. If you turn on noclip in 7-4 and you just shuffle your way through this wall, there's a sunflower here. And there's a Japanese sign that calls this thing the power plant. Now I have never seen this anywhere whatsoever. But the Way to the World update, or update 12A, added 5-S into the game. And it added a whole bunch of jokes about the size 2 fish. And ever since then, in every update afterwards, it has said, fixed a bug that caused size 2 fish to not be catchable. Every update until patch 15D, and every patch afterwards doesn't mention the size 2 fish. Because in patch 15C, they changed the text to fixed a bug that caused size 2 fish to be catchable. Not uncatchable, catchable. And this is also patch 15, the same update where 7-S came out. The level that has a secret about size 2 fish. I'm just saying, I'm not exactly thinking this is a coincidence. I'm thinking this is fully intentional, and this is just something that nobody has ever mentioned, ever. I have never seen anyone mention this until now. Now, in my last video, I made a point about how the clock tower in 7-S would actually show you your accurate time. I didn't know Big Ben also shows you the real time. It's about 2:50 right now. I didn't know it did this. That came from my comments. Thanks to whoever mentioned that. Now that I think about it, I should have put these two back to back, but whatever. Too late now. If we go all the way into the far distance with this guy, which it's going to take a while, give me a minute. Not only is the Earth Mover over here full size, like fully scaled Earth Mover, but it has one of the developer plushies hidden on the back of it. That took me 3.5 minutes to get all the way over here. This video was meant to be full of a little bit more obscure things than the last one, but that doesn't mean there can't be some things that most people will probably know. If you come to the museum, you can obviously grab all these plushies, and then you can chuck them into the bin. I said you can chuck them into the bin. And of course, there's nothing stopping you from just continuing to throw plushies in the bin. Now, it takes quite a while, and it takes quite a lot of plushies thrown into the bin, but eventually this will happen. All the plushies turn into V1 plushies, the music turns off, and if I actually turned off blind enemies, the horde comes out of nowhere. The horde of Gianni plushies. Plushies? Gianni PNGs. And there's like 30 of these dudes. There's a lot of them. They're all just reskinned filth though, so they die pretty easily. And then once you kill them all, the game just acts like nothing ever happened, and you can go right back to destroying plushies. Now, if you have cheats enabled, you can give yourself the spawner on, which allows you to spawn basically anything you want anywhere. And if you spawn enemies specifically off the edge of 5-4, get out of here, you get the star bonus. Why are you even spawning enemies here? Yeah, that makes sense. Why are you spawning enemies here? What is the purpose? While we're here, I just want to show off a very weird bug that I found. If you hold right-click, obviously, the sword on starts revving up. But if you then press pause, release right-click, and resume, my hands are off the keyboard right now. It just keeps going until you press the button again to release it. I don't think that's useful in any scenario at all. It's just an interesting bug. Now, greed is obviously based off of a desert, specifically very ancient Egyptian inspired, which probably leads you to think that this is, you know, just really hot sand, because sand under the desert sun will get really hot. But no, this is actually really hot gold, because of course, we're in the greed layer, so it's got to be related to money somehow, doesn't it? And while we're in 4-2, there's a couple of interesting things you probably didn't know. Number one, the Statue of Liberty has a heart. It's pretty difficult to see, but yeah, it's there. Number two is on the backs of all of the monuments are the old textures, just a really teeny tiny version. And number three, did you know that this is the strongest explosion in the game? 7-1 is hiding a lot of secrets in its walls. For example, going outside here, and then going through this debris, we get the live Hikita reaction, which immediately kills you. Also in 7-1, the Minotaur obviously runs through and destroys these mannequins, but if you keep following it, and I mean keep following it, he's just chilling. Out in the void. He will stay here forever. Until this part of the level gets unloaded. He's chilling. And he can still hit you. Which I think's kind of funny. Now, in my last video, I showed off how you can give yourself infinite points by just using Cybergrind. However, did you know that if you go too high, and by too high I mean above the 32-bit integer, which is about 2.147 billion, it'll wrap all the way around to negative 2 billion. And it would display as -1. So, don't go too crazy, or you might find yourself having to get another 4 billion P. Now, the way ULTRAKILL loads its levels is a little bit weird. I'm not a game dev, I don't really understand the reason, but every level will infinitely loop in all of its directions, and you can see this if you go out of bounds with most levels. However, the easiest place to find out is in 5-2 and 5-S, because the water just lets you slide. And if you keep sliding for long enough, you'll start to see the level appear, but you'll be on the opposite side. It's just a very simple and easy way to showcase how the game loops its levels without having to clip out of bounds. In 5-3, this entrance elevator and room is the exact same as the exit elevator and room, which makes sense as to why this terminal goes from looking like this to looking like this. And saying ow. Speaking of terminals, 7-S is the only secret level to have a terminal in its starting room, because it's the only secret level with actual enemies you're supposed to kill. And this one says, didn't expect me. Now, this one is another one that came from my comments that I really wasn't aware of, but apparently, the secret exit in 7-3 that you're supposed to use the street cleaner fire to burn can be burned with gutter tank rockets. It's a little bit annoying to see because they kind of try punching you, but yeah, it burns, and you can go straight in to 7-S. Now, gluttony obviously begins with you entering the corpse of King Minos' mouth, which means it's a very understandable misconception that people consider gluttony to take place within Minos' corpse. It doesn't. That's a misconception. It's a very clear misconception, and it's very obvious why people come to that conclusion. And it's not helped by the fact that P-1 does actually take place inside the corpse of King Minos, while also being in gluttony. It really doesn't help people avoid this misconception that part of it is inside Minos and part of it isn't inside Minos. Now, this probably is my pick for the single worst piece of environmental storytelling in this game. This right here is supposed to depict an Earth mover. I'm fucking serious. The reason being is because the trees that you feed and grow in 7-3, all of these trees that you grow, they will eventually grow to hold the Earth mover in place. It's a lot better now because you can actually see it's got like shrubs growing on it, but back when this level first came out, oh my god, this was the worst piece of environmental storytelling I think I've ever seen ever. And yeah, I got it wrong in the lore video, which I think frankly is a bit understandable. Now this one is like a secret within a secret within a secret within a secret within a secret. 7-S is already a secret, but if you grab this skull, you then have to finish the entire enemy portion of the level. Once you finish the enemy portion of the level, you're going to want to grab the red skull again, get the vacuum cleaner, completely ignore cleaning up the level because I'm not spending the next 40 minutes of my life doing that, come to this secret green bookshelf, hoover it up, use electricity on this thing, hoover it again, and then you have to finish the second big secret, the Luigi's Mansion bit. Not only do you get Drone Haunting, but if we go back to the secret bookshelf, this door will now be opened, which opens to a small hole in the invisible wall, which means you can then take the red skull behind the waterfall to the secret passageway, which this is really long, by the way. And right at the end of this passageway, you can put the red skull down to find the third big secret, which is also where you find V2, Vaquita, and the secret message about the size 2 fish. But did you know that that moon is fully 3D modeled, and I have no idea how you get over there? But apparently, if you do it without cheats, because if you turn cheats on, this place just disappears. It just kicks you out. So if you manage to do it without cheats, this is on the back of the moon. The dog side of the moon. Now, the swords machine that you find in O-2, the one that travels across the screen and kills all of these strays, is actually a full enemy that you can hit and attack. The thing is it has 250 health, not on Brutal. I don't know if Brutal's boss health multiplier applies to this swords machine, but it has 250 health on every difficulty other than Brutal, which is because Haki doesn't exactly want you killing this thing, which, I mean, you can technically do if you really felt like it. You can try your hardest to kill it, but you won't, because it has more health than Sisyphus Prime, which has led a lot of people to believe that it's actually the strongest enemy in the game. But the Panopticon technically has a little bit more health than it, so it's the second strongest enemy in the game. Now, this isn't really a secret, I just think it's more funny than anything. If we get Agony and Tundra to spawn in, and then we spawn in Minos Prime, and make them fight each other, who do you think's gonna win? Because it's not Minos. Yeah, as you can see, Agony and Tundra aren't even close to dying. You know, out of curiosity, can Sisyphus beat them? I have no idea. While they're having a scrap, I guess I'll take this opportunity to thank you for watching this video. The first one was fun to make, and this one was no different, even if things are getting a little bit more obscure and I'm struggling to come up with things off the top of my head. If you liked it, subscribe, do all that. Sisyphus is losing this fight, that's crazy. Agony and Tundra are canonically the strongest characters in this game.